Have you got a cup of tea?
I've got a cup of tea. Good evening. Welcome to Success in the City. My name's Helen Webster. I'm with the lovely
Sandra Scott, and our fabulous guest today is
Jen McGowan.
Jenny McGowan.
Oh, thanks, Jen. So, first of all, I'm going to say Happy New Year to everybody as the dog scratches herself under the desk.
Well, we didn't know about that, Hel. You know, it's seamless here, Jen. This is how it runs. It's just
So Megan just ran out with the kitchen with the curry past me.
Oh, carnage.
We have it all, and then Helen's cat normally appears, and the dog.
He's eyeballing me. The cat's eyeballing me, but that was the dog. So yeah, I'm going to say Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you all had an amazing New Year's Eve and Christmas. And Jen's joined us today. We've wanted Jen on the show for ages, and she's done loads of boss stuff. I'm dead excited that she's on tonight because she's dead energetic and dead bouncy. So she's a great start for 2023.
Yeah. Start of the new year. Fantastic.
Definitely. But first, we shout out to the kids. Any little people who've done amazing things.
Do you want to go first, Hel?
I haven't got any little people to shout out. Just that good luck, because most of them are going back to school tomorrow. So go back to school, see all your friends, tell them all your adventures, and just have a great time.
Yeah.
You got any little people?
No, I haven't been teaching I've not had nothing to do with any little people. Oh, that I didn't know, because I mentioned him already last week. My little cousin's son, my nephew. So I'm not going to say anything about him. No, that's it. What about you, Jenny? Have you got any little people?
Not little, no, not little.
Grown-ups at the end. We do our grown-ups.
Yeah.
So all the little people have missed out this week, but there we go. They're all full of sugar.
Well, they'll start to do amazing things, won't they, when they go back to school and getting the certificates again. So please share with all their certificates and their successes with us, and then we'll give them a little shout out. I am going to be dead seamless and move downstairs because the internet's not rubbish up here. And Joe Swinney says Happy New Year. So success this week for you personally. Something for you personally that's been a success.
Jenny, have you had anything this week?
I completed my first workout of 2023 after being ill for 2 weeks. So that was
the fault that everyone's had. Yes, so many people. My son was sick. So many people have been sick. Everyone I speak to. I was talking to Leslie from Strawberry Fields today, and she's been poorly and everything. So well done to you for your first workout of the year. And of course, with you being a fitness trainer, your workout really is a workout. It's not like me having a little go. And my success was Helen managed to drag me and some other people up Mole Vama yesterday.
Wow.
Like my first exercise for about 3 months. And of course, when you do these things, you realise when you nearly cough up a lung, I won't fit you up. And I've been poorly over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And the best thing ever is my marvellous powers. This is my success, actually. Never mind Mole Vama. My marvellous powers of recuperation are back. Because if ever I got sick, I was better within 24 hours, 48 hours max. And then when COVID came, I was ill, and I was like ill for a week. And then later on that year, I was ill for a week. And then I was ill. And then last year, when I say like the end of 2021, I was sick twice, like October and December, like for 2 weeks at a time. I was so ill. And then touch wood, I hadn't really been too ill over the last year. So when I was poorly on Saturday and Sunday, I thought, oh no, I can't be sick. And I was over it for yesterday. So I was delighted with myself. So I believe now that my marvellous powers of recuperation, as I've always called them, are back. So that's brilliant.
Yes, that's what you need.
Here we go. What about you?
You've stole my success. My success this week, I think, was going up Mole Vama, and I said I was going to do it, like, between Christmas and New Year, and we managed to go out, which was ace, and I just loved it.
Hang on a minute. I feel I need to say something here. Jenny, Helen was all for going up this way up Mole Vama. And I was like, let's pack it. And thank God we had someone else with us, Anna Sexton, who's been on the show, who'd been poorly. So she was going, and I was thinking, oh, thank God. Even though she was quite poorly, she was a lot fitter than I was. And I was going, but your success was getting us up there in one piece, I think. So well done to you, Hal.
Well done,
we were all
Helen.
good. We were all good. Yeah,
I want to do Snowdon, but I'm just too afraid that I'll end up on an edge or something.
You can come up Snowdon with us when we do it.
Oh, I'd love it. I know I would. I've got no sense of direction.
Well, we're going to start doing a lot more walks because I was like, oh God, I need to do this every weekend, if not every other weekend. So, you know, we can wake up to Snowdon.
Well, I'm going to book a coach and fill the coach and do a big charity walk up Snowdon this year because I wanted to do it last year. So you
count me in
with us.
Count me in.
Defo. John Howie's listening in and he says Happy New Year all, and Joe Swinney, Happy New Year, ladies, and Happy New Year to you guys. So we're going to play this or that. Yes. Okay. Sandra is going to ask me and you, Jen, and I'm going to ask you and Sandra. Are you going first or am I going first?
I'll go first because you both work out weirdos.
But you're going to pinch one of mine.
Indoor exercise or outdoor exercise? Is that one of your?
That was my very first one. My very first one was home workout or outdoor boot camp.
Which is different.
Okay. I like
different. Go on.
I like indoor when it's face to face. I did like the outdoor when we were in COVID. I did like the outdoor, but I just don't like the rain and I don't like any like mud. I'm just really bad like that. So I'm a bit like, yeah, as long as it's dry, I'll do outdoors. Yeah.
Well done, you. Yeah. Indoors.
What about you, San?
Indoors, Helen. Toasty. Indoors.
100% outdoor for me.
No need for a bobble hat at 6 a.m. Thank you very much.
100% outdoors for me. I'm going to have to change mine because my first one was home workout or outdoor boot camp.
But boot camp's a different thing. I think boot camp is quite different than like an indoor nice thing. Like yoga.
Like yoga, yeah.
Kiss my boots. Nobody wants that in the park, do they?
Maybe.
I imagine boot camp is because obviously I've not done that.
Okay, so like a home workout where you're in your house and you're following a YouTube video or an instructor online or something like that, or being outdoors. You could do yoga and outdoor or a boot campy like circuit or something like that. What would you prefer?
But that was
I love people, so I'd take people over at home, like just YouTube any day. Yeah. I mean, I know it has benefited a lot of people, especially through COVID and convenience, hasn't it? And I've still got a few people online doing my workout, but I just think you can't beat it. You can't beat being around people, can you? Connecting.
Yeah. And the other thing that happens, Jenny, is when you've got YouTube on, you think, no one knows if I've got off to make a cup of tea now and I'm going, well done. I go, I'll give this to go in 3 minutes in. I think, no. Whereas when the people, I think, oh, God.
I remember I was doing the classes online, but I was doing them Facebook Live because no one wanted to go on Zoom. And I was thinking, I've got a feeling people are just sitting there on the sofa with a cup of tea. Watching me. Come on, Jen. I'm like, yeah, I know you're
doing. They were. That's what they were doing.
Yeah. So Joe Swinney, she says boot camp. Well in, Joe. Joe's in my gang. Boot camp 100% outdoors. Yeah, I'm the same. I'm not a lover of I'm like Jen, you know, we just love people, don't we? Yeah. And accountability sucks when you want to keep
So true.
It's right. Very, very true. Okay. I'm gonna go. I know it's your turn, San.
Okay. Herbal tea or cappuccino, Jenny?
Oh.
Tell the truth. Just because you're a fitness person doesn't mean.
So I have one my own version of cappuccino. I become lactose intolerant last year, so I have to have lactose-free milk or oat milk. So I only have the one coffee in the morning, and then I do have a lot of herbal teas. Like I have a lot of honey and ginger and chamomile, and I do have a lot of herbal teas as well.
That's why you look amazing. I'd like to be the herbal tea person. I aspire for that cleanse and all the rest of it. Meanwhile, I'm like coffee in the morning. But you know, I don't have dairy at all. I have almond milk, and Helen's vegan, so she, you know, we neither of us have dairy, do we?
Yeah,
I am a herbal tea freak as well, and I've just got back into me herbal teas. So I've actually got like live herbal tea. So I don't even have tea bags now. I have like real live.
My sister bought me some for Christmas. I got like the little thing that you stuff it in, like a little thing you dip it in. She's into all that, like the proper leaves and stuff.
What do you mean live? So like you put fresh mint leaves.
Infuser, you know, like when you put it in the infuser, so you have like, so it's not in a tea, but you know, like you have tea leaves.
Oh yeah, but when you said live,
so I call it live tea rather than a pretend tea bag.
Loose leaf, okay.
Loose leaf, yeah. So it's like herbal loose leaf tea.
Yeah, well, in my mind, there was a caterpillar going in a cup. I was like, live.
Witchy stuff.
Yeah.
I took coffee into the office today. Some of those things, they were great. The two, you won't like it. It's dead strong. But I was delighted, and I'll take some herbal teas in then as well.
Yeah. We've got herbal tea in there, so we're good, yeah. Okay. Theme park or a water park? Jen.
See, I like a theme park, but I can only go on roller coasters. I can't go on anything that goes spin round. So like if I go to Blackpool, I'll go on like the roller coasters, like the big one, the Icon. Oh, I love the Viking one because I'm obsessed with Vikings. Anyone knows me, I'm obsessed. It's got like a thing about Vikings, so I love the Viking one in Blackpool. But then water parks, I do like water parks as well. I like the slides.
Yeah, you can only choose one though.
Gonna go water. Oh, I don't know. Gonna go water park. Yeah.
What about you, Sam?
Water park, definitely, because they're in great sunny places, and you go on the lazy river and you come out black. It's brilliant.
You're gonna say that. I'm the same as you, Jen. I used to be able to do spinny things, but now I can only do roller coasters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Age, don't talk about my age. I'm having a nightmare. Midlife crisis.
You're only a baby. I'm 10 years ahead of you this year.
Fantastic.
Oh.
Jenny, I've got 15 years on you, so that's not funny.
Well, you're my inspiration then, because you look amazing, Sandra. Amazing.
All the herbal tea I drink and the boot camp every morning.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what happens if you don't.
Send me your recommendations of your herbal teas, I want to look like you in 15 years.
Joe Swinney says water parks, yeah. Joe's well in my gang today. Go on, San, your go.
Okay. Live theatre or cinema?
Theatre, definitely. I go at least 5 times a year.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Jenny, you need
100%. What about you, San?
Theatre, hands down.
Yeah. I do love the cinema as well. I go cinema a lot, but theatre, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, it's about 15 quid to go to the cinema now.
Yeah.
It's probably cheaper to go to the theatre now than it is.
I know.
It is, yeah.
Okay, my last one. Bowling alley or ice rink?
Oh, bowling alley. I'm sorry I jumped in there.
No, that's tough, that. For me. No, it's a bowling alley for you, Jenny. Why?
Because I can't ice skate. I would come out with a million bruises. So bad. So bad.
When I was younger, hands down, I'd have said ice skating. Although, again, I'm diabolical at it as skiing, but I loved it, the ice rink, years ago. So I'd have to now say bowling. I like bowling, but I used to love ice rinks when I was younger.
Ice rink 100%. I hate temping bowling.
Do you?
Yeah, because I'm not very good at it, so I fume.
Well,
keep the sides up.
2 things you're good at, Helen. That's the next work.
I hate it.
Bowling.
I'm so rubbish at it. I hate it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I can't see how it's a sport in America where they're all like.
I'm excellent at temping bowling.
Yeah.
Joe Swinney, ice ring. My Uncle Ron spotted something there, San. Have you changed the French poster behind you?
Oh, did I used to have the
Moulin Rouge?
No, that's been there forever. For like, that's been there since November last year.
Yeah.
But I've put the baby Christmas trees there, the dining room Christmas trees there. So
yeah, maybe it's that then. Yeah. Well, there you go. Okay, so Jen has kindly joined us today. Jen has got an amazing story. I'm going to introduce Jen today, San, if that's okay.
Yeah, guest, yeah.
Yeah. So I met Jen about 7-8 years ago, I think, something like that, possibly.
Yeah.
And I was told about this mad person who jumps around like a lunatic and dresses up in all my clothes and stuff like that. And I thought she sounds like our kind of person. And I think from the very first time I've met you to where you are now, you've gone through a whole massive transformation. And you massively practice what you preach. And your story inspires people to follow in your footsteps, I would say. And I don't really want to say any more than that because I want you to tell us your story. Sandra and I will butt in it probably at the same time because we and ask loads of questions. So we're going to hand it over to you. Share it with us, Jen. We've got till about 35, 40 minutes.
God, it won't take that long. I don't know where you want me to start, really. How far do you want me to go back?
We got like where you were, like in your job, and how you got into fitness and why you got into fitness.
What did you do before you did fitness?
So, pretty much. So I've always been quite like energetic and high energy when I was a kid and stuff. And I actually went to dance college from school. I did Liverpool Theatre School and then Cliff So I did dance and drama and all that kind of stuff. I've always been like. And then when I was 17, I was in my second year and I went to work in Spain in a hotel. And then that's where I met my ex-husband. And then I kind of come back and I kind of left the dancing at the side. I thought I was a grown-up, I wanted to get a job and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of left it. And then I went into like a relationship then. And I got pregnant when I was 19. I got pregnant again when I was 23 and I was married by the time I was 24. So pretty much what you do really when you get to your late 30s, I've done in like, I don't know, by the time I was 24. And I didn't really have a personal identity as such because obviously I got with someone really young. And then obviously in my 20s and stuff, I had my kids really young and I was just, I don't know, like I put a picture up yesterday and I got really emotional because I don't know, with that person, it's so mad to look at it now. Like I was so mentally and like physically, I just didn't know who I was. Like I look at that person like she had no idea who she was. So I think it took me until I got into my early 30s. I had like an epiphany one day. I was working with some people and I just went, you know what? I don't want this life no more. Like without going into it too much because I want to keep it positive.
Yeah.
I was in like quite a toxic marriage and, you know, I wouldn't say he's completely to blame because I do think like if I'd known who I was, if I had a personal identity and if I kind of knew what it was like boundary, I didn't know anything about boundaries and how to be treated and like I'm a people pleaser. I've always been a people pleaser. So for me, it was just like, right, you look after your husband and you're a mum. And that was it. Like, and when I was looking at the picture yesterday, I remember thinking, right, I've got kids. My life's not over, but I can't really start it again until I'm like 40. And when I think about it now, it's absolutely crazy when I think about I was going to wait until I was 40 to start my life again. Do you get what I mean? Like, even the fact I was entitled to think that I could live till that age. Do you know what I mean? But that's what I just thought at the time. So I just got into that kind of comfort of just being a mum and a wife, and that was it. I didn't do anything for myself. I didn't have any friends. I didn't go out. I didn't socialise. So when I was 31, I made the decision to leave that marriage because it wasn't happy, and I just knew I wasn't happy in my life. But then, obviously, I was on my own then. I was working a part-time job in a betting shop. Used to work for William Hill for like 5 years. And then I was left with my 2 kids on my own. He went and moved to Ireland like about a year and a half later. So I was on my own and I was just like, I knew I had no money to raise these kids on my own. I was like, what am I going to do? But I kind of fell into a Zumba class. So I went to my first ever Zumba class in Picton in the Aquatic Centre. And I was like a nervous wreck. Like I stood right at the back of the class. I was quite a lot bigger than I am now. I was more overweight. And I was just terrified. I was terrified. I thought, please don't talk to me. Nobody say hello to me. I was like, I don't want to say. Do you know what I mean? I was that unconfident. And the instructor at the time, Helen, she kind of like, I don't know, she must have saw something in me or saw that I didn't have any confidence. And eventually, the more I went, the more I got to the front of the class. Yeah. And she started pulling me up and like doing it, and that grew me confidence, you know what I mean? And then I just started talking to people. And that was the thing, that was the starting point for me. And then as I got it, she was like, why don't you go in for your Zumba? I was like, oh no. And then I did that. And then she went, oh, why don't you be a personal trainer? I was like, I don't want to be a personal trainer. Like, but then I did it because I wanted to get on the club size course. Mm-hmm. So that's why I become a personal trainer, because I was like, well, I want to do this club size because I love dance. I found it. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it saved me. I was in such a dark place, like, you know, really, really dark, to the point where I'd lost so much weight. I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping. I was just, again, like, I don't want to go into it too much because I want to keep it positive. But like, when you've been in that relationship where everything is not, you're not in control, it's like you've almost lost your master. It's like someone telling you what to do. And so it was a bit like, I was completely lost. And then I found this Zumba, and it was part, I thought, this is part of me. Do you get what I mean? This is something new. This is part of my identity. So I just grabbed hold of it.
And do you know what, Jenny? Just to interject slightly there, it's interesting what you've said there. You said to find yourself, but actually, that's who you were before, because you did dance. And I've had a lot of friends over the years, and still have, who've gone the dance route in life, and they're very, very self-disciplined people. And they pick up things to music, to movement like that. You show them, and they're just straight in there, and everyone else is looking. That's a talent you had. And when you've come out of that relationship and found yourself, you've gone back to what you've loved. And okay, you haven't gone to specific dance lessons or something. Yeah. But for somebody like me who isn't a dancer at all, who loves music and dances, but does her own thing in those classes, you know, it's no surprise to me you saying that you went that, because Zumba, club size, that is massively about balance, isn't it? And being a personal trainer, training for that, it's about body movement and the fitness and exercise that dancers do, committed dancers who go and work professionally, is second to none. It really is, you know. I mean, I know what it's like from my friends to have been successful enough to be employed and get a contract abroad and things like that. You've got to be good. You've got to be high standards. So you've done so well. So it's actually quite natural you went back to that and you found something that you love, you know.
I think you described it really well. I think it was like turning on a switch. It was almost like, wow. And I got addicted to it quite quickly, because I thought, like, I like the feeling. I like that this is me. And it was a way of expressing myself. And it was like an outlet. Like, I just looked so, I thought, even when, like, I was stressed with things going on in my life, I was just like, I've got that class, and it just kept me going. Do you get what I mean? And then when I started, like, when someone kind of invested in me a little bit as well, and was like helping me, like, you know, like, build me up and be a mentor, I was like, why is this person helping me? Because I never had that. Do you get what I mean? And so I just knew I wanted to do that. Like, I thought, God, like, I could help other people. Like, this has helped me, do you know what I mean? Like, and do something I love as well at the same time. Like, because I was doing it anyway, and I thought, well, might as well get a bit of money for it and then go and help other people. But my confidence did take years and years. Like, I remember my first Zumba class, I just wanted the floor to open up and eat me. I was like, oh my God, I just want to run out of here. So I'm not always at that. It took me a while as well to be this bubbly, energetic person as well. Like, I was always afraid of being myself. I was always afraid of, like, because people always told me growing up, oh, calm down, or stop being like that, or do you know what I mean? So I always kept that away. Like, I just hid it.
I think that's part of, you know, they always turn on and say, like, you know, like, fitness instructors, and I know Jen's class is, like, super energetic, and, you know, she is very bubbly and stuff like that. And people believe that's how you live your life, you know, and you're like that all the time. And quite a lot of the time you might be thinking, oh, you know, I'm not feeling it, I'm not 100% or whatever. But you have to put that smiley face on, you have to go and behave in a particular way, because people don't want to be in front of a miserable instructor, do they, you know? And you want to get the most out of your clients and your class. And I think that's really like, you know, what you were saying then, because I know your story, but if I didn't know your story and somebody said, you know, Jen, I'd have gone, oh yeah, dead confident here, you know, like, yeah, she just smashes life, you know, she gets up there, because that's what everybody sees, isn't it? And it's really interesting to see what was going on underneath.
I've got two sides to me. The people who are close to me know that, like, so I'm the bubbly, crazy person, you see. And then if you have me as a friend, I'm like a proper deep. I only have a couple of close people, like as friends. I can't stay surface level. So when I'm like a friend, you get me as a friend, do you know what I mean? I'm like very deep, and like we have proper conversations and stuff like that. So I'm like completely the opposite. Like if you was to come around there and have a cup of tea, I'd be like, really like, oh yeah, you're right. Like really, it's weird, like two sides to the coin. So yeah, and like obviously over the years I do loads of yoga. I'm into my mindfulness, and like I've done loads of self-help stuff for myself more than anything. And it's just been like an amazing journey. Like I've really loved getting to know myself, like, and obviously I continue to do that. And like over the years, it's made me more humble. Like I was only saying to a few people today, like people, when they come into a class, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Like I remember one woman, I said to her, because I love talking, as you know, so people will come in and they wasn't expecting an instructor to talk to them, because most instructors, they do the thing and they leave, don't they? Because they're getting paid 20 quid or whatever. They think, I'm not putting any more work in, and I get it, but I am a talker. And I used to say to people, oh, what you doing? This one woman would go, oh, I'm going to pick up my husband's ashes. And I was like, what? She was like, oh yeah, I lost my husband we had his funeral last week. And I was like, oh my God, and this woman had been coming to this Zumba class, like not even like said anything, and you just really don't know what people are going through. And I just love that part of the journey as well, because you just...
And of course...
And probably because you felt like that when you walked in. Yeah. You then got the empathy to...
Yeah, I was going to say exactly the same thing as Helen. You've been through that and you think of the difference it made in your life. And okay, maybe those people aren't going to come on to be instructors, or they haven't been dancers, but what an outlet. And I remember years ago, I was on holiday and I met this lady, and it was her 50th birthday, which at the time I thought was quite old, haha. And she came on a skiing holiday for her birthday with her daughter and everything. And she'd said she'd split up with her husband, sadly, etc. And she said the gym, she was in that gym every day, and she said it just kept her going constantly. And she said every time, and it was like became an obsessive routine for her. But it was when she was doing that, she had the headspace, it was great, and that really kept her happy. And I think a lot of people, if they can access a class or a group or something where they're moving, and you know, it's so good, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I just think like if people can actually get, because you can stand in a room full of 50 people, and because people don't speak to other people, they don't know that like what they're going through, 10 other people in that room might be going through. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's like once you know someone else is just one more person, you think, oh, this is actually okay. This is like normal stuff. Do you get what I mean? But when you're in that headspace, aren't you? You think, oh God, like there's something wrong with me. I should just get on with it, kind of thing. Like my resilience over these last 8 years, I just sometimes think to myself, wow, how have I done it? I was working 3 jobs at one point, 60, 70 hours, looking after, they were 8 and 11 at the time. And I think, wow, like, I don't even know why I did that, but it must have been something in me. It was like, don't give up. Like, do you get what I mean? And I think
because you had to do it, wasn't it? You know, you had to do it. That was your role. That was your responsibility, and you accepted that, and you made that change happen. And from that, you then started to invest in yourself, didn't you, a little bit, and how you could help people even further. So tell us about when you went off to college and how you did that.
So when I made the decision that I didn't want to work for like the gyms as such, although I got quite a good, you know, my name out there, and you know, I got the skills, I decided that my values didn't match, as in like the business side of trying to get money. I wanted to help people. I could see people weren't getting that bit extra. So they were coming to the gym, they were getting a class, but as you said, like, I noticed that other instructors, and I'm not there to say that they're doing a wrong job, but because it's quite, you know yourself, it's quite like, right, let's get the next people in the next class. People were just going in and leaving. And I just think, like, the mental health was what I've seen over the last 8 years. If people's mental health is not there, if they can't, like, if there's other areas in their life that's not balanced, then the first thing that they give up is their exercise, because they haven't got the motivation and the will. Do you know what I mean?
Very true.
I'm just like that.
It is, isn't it? Either that or the nutrition or something. Yeah. And I think it's got to be a balance. Like, and I've tried the whole, right, let's smash the gym, let's get your nutrition. But if your headspace is not there and you're not confident and stuff that you can actually do it and you can get the results, it's not going to happen. So I thought, right, what do I need to do here? I've got my personal training, I've got my fitness. I've done all the nutrition, I've had all the experience kind of thing. What do I need to do? I need to get more experience with the mental health side of it. So I signed up for me counselling. I did my level 2 a few years ago. I'm on my level 3 now. So I'm in the Wirral Met over the water. And I tell you what, it's an amazing course. What you learn, different theories, different what people are going through. It's just helped me so much. Like, I mean, I've always had empathy, I think, but it's just given me more empathy. And, like, I mean, I'm not afraid to say I used to judge people a lot, like, you know, like, and now I'm pretty much like, I always like to see the other side of people. Okay, well, why are they drinking? Why are they addicted to this? Why are they emotionally and why this? Because there's a reason. So, like, there's always a reason. And I think people use some of these things sometimes a coping mechanism, don't they? Do you know what I mean? I mean, I got addicted to exercise, even though you think it's a healthy coping mechanism.
The one thing you think someone's going to say ecstasy, and then she went exercise. And then you went exercise. I was like, oh, well, we knew that. Okay.
I thought I was doing good because I was working out like every day, multi-weight, and I think that wasn't healthy because I got obsessed, as in, like, it was a coping mechanism, and I was like, I just need more. It was like a drug.
Yeah.
And so what I've realised is that what I realised is to have the whole package to keep everything going and consistent. You've got to kind of try and balance your lifestyle. So it was always my wish to kind of put like a 6-week kickstart course for people to get them going. Not for me to tell them what to do, because I am not even like that as a PT. You ask my clients, like, I always say,
before we carry on, Jen, just before we carry on, Hannah Stafford's listening in. So Hannah's one of Jen's clients, and she said, I was so glad finding Jen's classes. It's helped me so much.
Oh, my little
that's a lovely thing.
Just killed her before in the gym. So I obviously, it was always my wish to kind of like help people try and get a balance of a lifestyle. So not just focusing on the fitness or the nutrition, or like the first thing that, like, if anyone comes to me PT wise or anything, I always kind of like try and see where they are, like the lifestyle as a whole, and see where the mindset is. Because if I start throwing like nutrition things down and all that, and they're not right in the right space of, you know, the mind, they're just going to go home and throw it to one side. So I come up with this course called Positively Fit, which I'm actually just getting some second funding for in the community, and I'm starting it next week. So it's got enough.
Is it full yet, Jen? Is the course full yet? Is it full?
No, not yet. It's not full yet because I've had to change the date.
Okay, so tell us about the course, and tell us how people, because this is an unbelievably amazing opportunity for somebody who might be watching this and thinking, I've been through or similar things to what Jen's been through, and they look at you now, and they can tell that you're an open person, and you're non-judgmental and stuff, and as a program, it's absolutely phenomenal. And I know that you've written the program, and it's been so tell us all about the program.
So the program is like, it's a 6-week kind of program. So what it's doing is it's breaking up the overwhelm, because what I've found, a lot of people, they want change, but they don't know where to start. It's like, do a start diet, and do a start this, do a start that. So it's kind of breaking it up. So I facilitate the course, but I act like a coach. I don't tell people what to do. I'm not there to lecture. We don't take measurements. It's not like you're not put on the spot. You can be as much as interactive as you want. So like the first week would be like an introduction to the course, and then we just identify what areas of your life that you feel like individually. So they'll give them like a sheet, a handout, and they do it themselves. And it's just finding out what areas you feel like you're lacking or you're doing too much of. And it's just identifying that. And then each week we do something different. So one week we'll cover maybe a personal identity. So we do exercises on either discovering yourself or rediscovering yourself. So it's about who am I? Like what do you like? So we use like exercises that people can do. And we do it as a group. And then I give people a chance individually to express like who they are and things. And then another week we'll be talking about self-care. So obviously, boundaries is a big part of self-care, being able to say no to things and setting those kind of boundaries yourself, making time for yourself and everything else. So that's a massive...
There's a lot of people, sorry Jen, when you say self-care to people, they all think it's like, having a bath.
They do.
To people, they go, having a bath, like self-care. And yes, it is, but I think when I know you speak quite a lot about boundaries and things, and I wouldn't have thought of that as like a self-care until like I've read what you've written about and stuff. So explain that a little tiny bit to us. So
like boundaries for me, especially if you're a giver, let's say, like, and there's a lot of them out there. We give a lot, don't we? We always put other people's needs before our own. And obviously sometimes that means that we don't go to our exercise class or we give up that, going out, we'll buy the kids the extra pair of trainers instead of treating ourselves, or just looking after your hair and you putting some face cream and stuff like that is self-care. But the boundary side of it is just being aware when you're doing that and saying, okay, I matter, do you know what I mean? I'm not going to do that now. If people ask for your health, for instance, and that means you not going to your exercise class, it's about saying, look, I'd really like to help you, but I can't do that because I've got my exercise class, kind of things. And that's what I did a lot. I used to just take away from myself. And that, again, that has a knock-on effect to your self-esteem, doesn't it?
Yeah, massively. A lot of mums naturally do that. Or people who are carers, if you're caring for a member of your family, people do that as well. Just, I met a young lady that made a real impact on me. We were chatting one day, and she was only about 28. She looked a lot older, and she'd cared for a nan. That's what she'd done since she left school, and her nan passed away. And she said she had nothing, no career, never worked in anything. And she was just like, and I thought, wow. And it was about her starting to find her identity as well. Exactly. And I think if you completely sacrifice for either a family or a carer or whatever, you just, as you said, people pleasing, and people don't realise they're doing it. They just think, you be kind. You do have to have boundaries. You can't just help everyone in the world, or you've got nothing left yourself to give.
Exactly. And it has such a knock-on effect to everything, not just yourself, but people around you as well. Because when you're not feeling good about yourself, it affects your relationships, it affects your friendships. Like, you start getting paranoid, don't you? You think, I'm not in a relationship at the moment, but you're like, I don't look good, he doesn't fancy me no more, and then your friendship, it definitely has a knock-on effect of everything, and it's not selfish to put yourself first, really not. It really isn't.
Jenny, when is the course starting?
It starts next week, the 11th of January. It's every week for 6 weeks. So it's 10 till 12 in the Joseph Lappin Centre.
Okay, and how does someone get to access that?
So if you just message me on my page, so either just Jennifer McGowan PT, or they can go onto my other page, which is Jenny McGowan, Mindset and Empowerment Coach. You just message me and just let me. All I ask for is people are kind of committed to it a little bit, because it has been funded, because people are trying to, the people I've got the funding for, they're trying to help people in the community. So I just asked to honour that. I'd want to honour that kindness from the people. And that if you want the help, I'm not saying if they don't like it, they have to stay, but just have that actual, wanting to start and just.
Sorry, I've just got a couple more questions. What I wanted to say first of all was make a comment that when you were saying about people sticking it, sometimes things can be a bit painful to start, can't they? When you face something like that, it can chain up things and that, but the outcome at the end's always so much worth it. And Joe Swinburne said, can we put the link to contact in the comments? 100%. Yeah. We'll share all of those details.
I'm going to share. I thought Jen can come on and explain what it is, and then she's got a lovely post about what it is, and I thought we'll share that.
We'll share that
for people to then get in contact with Jen directly.
I think that the whole point of the court, the whole point of the 6 weeks is just to give people like an opportunity to look at their lives and who they are and reflect a little bit. And then just decide then at the end of they might get to the end of the 6 weeks and think, I'm not ready yet. Do you know what I mean? But I think it's just bringing it to awareness a little bit. And I just think giving people that little bit of knowledge, like, I give a little bit of knowledge on nutrition and, the physical side as well, trying to get some sleep, the sleep, the self-care as a package. I'm just sharing my knowledge and just being there. I feel like for me, it's like a way of giving back because I think someone's helped me. I wouldn't be where I am now if someone didn't step in and help me. So that's all I'm trying to do. Just not help them, but help them see themselves.
Yeah, as we always say, we rise by lifting others, don't we? If everyone helps everyone, we'll all succeed. Everyone will do well together. What brilliant thing you've done there. And it's fun, did you say? So if there's a financial barrier, it's not a barrier really, is it? If people are worried, how much is that going to cost? It doesn't actually. They just got to physically get themselves to Old Swan, yeah.
That's why I went down the funding route, because obviously I do charge for fitness classes and things like that, and I thought, maybe these people can't afford, and it is, and if you are that kind of person where you don't want to invest in yourself, it's really hard, isn't it, to pay for the course, So I think, right, you've got no excuses, it's free. Get yourself down there, put yourself first, and
How many places are there, Jen?
10 altogether. I think I've got like 3 or 4 people definitely at the moment wanting to sign up. So if anyone does want to join on, let me know. Because definitely. I'm really excited. I did one in September and it was so lovely because people opened up more than I thought they would. And it was just really nice.
Credit to you, Jen. People opening up in a session is a credit to you that you'll make them safe and make them feel comfortable. And also the other delegates or participants in it, they become a support network for each other, don't they? Yeah. And like you were saying before, when you walk in somewhere, you're not the only one because there's other people who are in the same boat. So when you open up and share, then other people think, oh, well, that's okay, I can now. And if you tell part of your story, people think, oh, she's not this, goddess in front of us who works out all the time and always dead smiley and stuff, because you have had a journey. And I think what you're really good on social media, you always post, like the picture that you posted, and you've posted a few other pictures of, not when you're dressed up going out. It was like 10 years ago in the start of your journey and stuff like that. And I think that's... We sort of speak, don't we, about everyday humans doing amazing things, and I think when stories are shared with people and people look and they think, oh, I'd never have thought that about them. Look what they're doing now. Yeah. Look how good they are. And then you think, well, you can be that as well.
I think people just see the present, don't they? They see the present. They don't see, because I think I've had about 3 breakdowns. I think at one point I was in the kitchen talking to people, honest, I was that bad. And my kids, it sounds, I'm not, not regretting what I've done, but my kids have had to sacrifice clubs and things because I've had to work all hours God sends. I was working 60 hours a week and, they've had to sacrifice stuff and I've had to sacrifice stuff, dates, going out, socialising, that kind of stuff. So it's not like I've woke up and I've got this brilliant career, helping people and things.
It's great.
Oh my God, it's hard work. I've injured myself over and over because I didn't want to injure other people in the gym. What a funny story. I remember when I was in Garston gym And I just decided one day I was going to start lifting weights, right? And you know the barbell? I got under, but I didn't go on the one with the Smith machine where you've got support. I went onto the actual barbell and I put like a 40 kg. Now, I could do that now, but I put a 40 kg on my back and I squatted down and couldn't get back up.
No, I wouldn't.
How I got back up, I don't know. I thought I was going to collapse in the gym. I was sweating buckets. And I was like, oh my God, does anyone even see that? Honest, I pulled my shoulder out, I've done all kinds. But I think I'm mad sometimes. I do. I think I'm mad. But do you know when there's something inside you and you're just like...
What an achievement. Yeah. What an inspiration, an absolute inspiration you are, you know. And there's so many people who will have been in your shoes as well. And, you know, as you say, you look amazing and people look and they see people looking confident and that. And they've no idea what they've gone through to get to where they have. You know, and you did it on your own, really. I know you said someone supported you, but you had it within yourself to go to that class and respond to the support you were given. And now to be able to help others is just marvellous.
It is, you know, and it's like yourselves, like when, you know, Helen was talking to me the day, and I was like, why did he want me to come onto this show? I was really baffled. But when Helen, like, kind of reflected, I was thinking, you know what, I need to give myself a bit credit because I was a nobody 8 years ago. I was literally sat at home depressed, you know.
Nobody.
Nobody knew, as in, like, nobody knew who I was. Like, no, do you know what I mean? And it's like, to get to like being in the community where like I'm just saying hello to everyone when I go to the shop, and I'm like, it's crazy when you think about it like that.
It's like, if you think people say out of acorns, if you think of like nuts on the acorns, if you're in the park, if you walk through Sefton Park, whatever, you see little acorns everywhere. We all stop and look at a fantastic tree, don't we? And they're magnificent, the trees we've got. They're so established and old, and they've been there for decades and decades. And they start off like that, don't they? Yeah. It's what you can grow into, isn't it? Yeah. And that's what you've done. And the fact that you're going on to help others now, and, you know, it's just marvellous, really.
Yeah. It's hard sometimes to get yourself out there because I don't think I've ever been that kind of, you know, I post a picture now and then when I'm in the gym or whatever, but I've never been, and I'm not judging or anything like that. It's just me. My personality is like, I've never been that kind of person putting pictures on, you know, in the gym on my bum or bits of my body. I've just never done it. I've never felt like I needed to. Like,
I never put a picture of my bum on any social media. That won't be happening.
Like, I've never wanted to like take videos or put any of my clients under pressure because, you know, I seem to attract the kind of clients that I seem to attract to kind of like people who are not quite confident to take pictures and videos, you know what I mean? And so,
it's the normal everyday people we always speak about. I think why you become a community fitness instructor rather than going down the gym route. And everything that Jen says is exactly my journey as well, sort of thing, you know. Where, you know, I've been into particular gyms to cover, and you know, they've all been stood there on phones, and I've walked in and said hello, and they've all looked at me as if to say, like, well,
why is she saying hello?
Fitness instructor, you know, and it's like, and they're not speaking to each other, and that's part of, you know, the classes that we have is that, you know, somebody always meets somebody at the door, so whoever walks in through the door, there's always a friendly person there to say hello, and that's a massive barrier to a lot of people, isn't it? You know, or am I Instagrammable and all, especially for the young people nowadays. And I remember having a coffee with Jen in Costa. We had a little coffee, and we spoke about it. You wanted to develop a program and stuff, and I was going, do it, you'll be amazing.
Yeah.
And we spoke about young girls, didn't we?
Yeah.
We spoke about, like, you know, young sort of 14, 16, 17.
So that is something in the pipeline that I'd love to do. I'd really love to go into schools. Like, as you know, I've got 2 teenage girls myself, and like, you know, my eldest actually moved to Ireland because she struggled in England. Like, her dad lives there, but like, she didn't like the city life and the whole trying to be someone else. And so I just think like social media, like, is lovely, you know, for this, like, we would be able to do this, but I just think it's took over, hasn't it, girls' self-esteem and stuff like that. It's getting weak. So it is a dream of mine to take something like similar to this program into schools and help, you know, teenagers just reflect on themselves again, like not to lecture them, not to be a teacher, just to kind of help them reflect on who they are.
It's to be that positive role model. You know, you've been through it, and you're a positive role model to young people to say, you were a young mum, you've got 2 amazing daughters, you know, you were brave enough to let one of them go to Ireland because that was what was right for her.
Yeah.
So there's like all things like that for other people to, you know, for you to say to young people, you know, this is what life's all about, sort of thing. And I think this 6-week program that you're doing, you will easily be able to adapt it to the young people.
Yeah. And so I'm just, it's in me to help people, you know, and I'm not someone that, like, I'm a big, as you know, with all the self-development and stuff, I'm just like a big, like, believer in self-awareness. Like, I really, really want people to come up with the answer themselves. I want them to see their journey. Like, I don't want to sit there and tell people what to eat and what to do, and because it doesn't help and it doesn't last. It's not sustainable. Like, I've got PT clients with me and they go, how am I still with you for a year? And I'm like, because you've done it yourself. You've made the choice yourself. I haven't rang you every 5 minutes going, are you coming for the PT? You've made that decision, and that's why. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah. So that's my goal, to get people living authentically and just, you know, balanced, not having to keep dieting every 5 months, every other season. Oh my goodness.
The mince pies have caught up with me.
But you know what? We all do it, don't we? We all have these up and downs. Like myself, you know, I put weight on over Christmas, and like, but I think it's having that acceptance in yourself and going, you know what? So what? I've put some weight on. I can easily I know how to do it. I did it last time. I can do it again, kind of thing. You know, definitely.
Yeah. Like Kate Moss, in a fortnight, you can guarantee it. You won't laugh.
Brilliant. Well, Jen, your story's amazing. Thank you for sharing it with us.
Sorry, I feel like a blabber's on.
No, you've been amazing, mate. It's gone like a
brilliant start to the year. And we've not had anyone on before who's a PT, have we? And we've not had any. Well, a lady who's been through that personal journey and shared it. And you know, that's a first for us. So thank you so much. And
you're welcome.
Sharing your journey will inspire so many other people to be brave and talk about their situation as well. That's just amazing. Well
thank
done.
you so much for asking me. It's lovely to even just bring it to the surface again when I'm nearly 40 and I'm thinking, okay, it was worth it.
As Helen says, we'll share everything. People are asking us for the links. We'll share the links. We'll all the details and everything so that you can access that.
And then you'll have to put another course on because you'll have so many. So many. Right.
Thank you so much.
Moment.
Don't go anywhere.
Red face moment. Something slightly embarrassing that's happened. People can laugh along with, not at you.
When? Now?
Whenever. It could be now. It could be another gym moment when you pick the barbell up and go back up again.
Well, I've had a lot of holes in the pants. But yeah, I don't think that's... Do you know what? Something horrific happened to me when I was younger. But like, so I can't even telling you this. So I went to Stoke-on-Trent. I had a boyfriend. And he used to live in Stoke-on-Trent, so I drove up there. Well, someone drove me up there, but I get travel sickness, right? So I remember my sister and my mate rang me and was like, "Oh, we're in the fair, and it was in what park was it? Can't remember what park it was. Some park in Liverpool. Come and meet us in the fair." So I went, "Oh, okay." So we met them in the fair. This is probably why I don't like spinny rides, right? So you know those rides that go like that.
Oh yeah.
Like teacup.
I must have been about 15 or 16 at the time, and everyone had someone to go on the ride with. So the guy that run the ride, he was like, "Oh, I'll get on the ride with you." So I was like, "Okay." So I'm sat on this ride, fancied this fella, that it was like this young fella. So you see, he's like, the bucket seats.
Yeah.
You know, guess what happens?
You threw up.
Are you sick on him?
Yeah. But I'm talking like projectile. Like, it was like that film, you know, The Problem Child. And I just remember, I always remember what I was wearing as well. I had this long woolen cardigan on, and I just remember getting off the ride. He must have been like, what? The whole thing was cool. I just remember walking off the ride, covered head to toe. And I got home and my mum was like, what happened to you? And I was like, just don't. That was like
that's just the best story. I took a group of kids. I used to do a lot of voluntary work when I was younger, and I took a group of kids up to Southport for the day, with some other sort of people in the summer holidays to get them out and about. And a child, he was only young. They went on like for the little ones, just the aeroplanes. They don't even go up so high. Vomited from the plane that came down of it, jumped out the way. It went on his poor man's shoes. It was awful. It was just anything like that. Sorry for anyone who's been eating the dinner while this is
I know, yeah, that was a bit
that's brilliant.
graphic.
You got a red face this week, Sam?
Yeah, I think my one last week was good enough, don't you, with the jumper?
Yeah, so I had a gorgeous hat that my Auntie Bella and Uncle Ron bought me for Christmas. And I wore it so I've worn it about 5 or 6 times. It's gorgeous. Goes up Mulvama yesterday and Sandra said, I haven't got a hat. I said, it's all right, I've got a spare one in the car. I said, put that on. So she goes, anyway, she gets out and she goes, can't wear that. She said, it's brand new. And I said, yeah, it's all right. I said, but I've worn it. And she goes, no, it's brand new. It's still got the tag on. I've been wearing it with the tag on, haven't I?
Like the plastic sticking out the back of the pom-pom. You couldn't miss it.
I took the label bit off the bottom, but I hadn't cut the
That's not as bad as the A4 psychedelic £2 sign I had at the back on that jumper. Do you remember when I was interpreting and the nurse knocked on, the little Filipino nurse, and he goes, you have a sticker on your back, he said. He said the other nurses were too embarrassed to tell you. I was interpreting for this Italian family in the hospital who'd been on a cruise and he'd been poorly, so had to go into the Royal, and I was interpreting and it was hot in the hospital, so I took my jacket off and I was just picked up this jumper and I still was getting shopping. It had £2. I thought, oh, brilliant, that'll do me for work. Just stuck this pullover on with when it was cold one year, like December time or whatever, with a jacket on top. And it was hot in the hospital and took my jacket off. And there was an A4 size thing like that with £2 on it, like in psychedelic pink. Honest to God, it was. I was like that.
Wow.
I have no dignity, Jenny.
I've seen that. One of my bucket lists is to learn Spanish. So I'll be on to you.
I was thinking, do you speak Spanish because you lived in Spain?
No, but I love anything to do with Spanish, like Spanish music, Spanish men, Spanish everything.
There you go.
To learn Spanish.
Spaniards or Vikings, bit different.
Oh, know, that's a hard one, that is a hard one.
Should have done that.
I know. Yeah. Right, we're going to do a quick shout out to the grown-ups.
Yes, okay. I've got a big one.
So I'm going to shout out to my Uncle Ron because it was his birthday yesterday. Happy birthday to Uncle Ron yesterday.
One of our greatest.
And I'm also going to shout out to whoever in Lydiate has been knitting the things, on the top of the post boxes. Whoever does them are amazing, and there's a few dotted around the city.
Oh yeah, there's one all the time in Score Lane in Chilwell. I see when I go to my mum's. Yeah.
So please, anybody, keep doing them because they're just gorgeous.
Lovely, auntie. Yeah. Nice.
Right. I need to do a shout out definitely, and this is from Karen Rogan, who's going to be coming on the show in February. Which I'm delighted about. Now, on this Friday, there's an art exhibition at the gallery. It's 455 Smithdown Road. So we're going to, we'll be sharing that over the next couple of days with images of the gallery and that. And it's called the Asperger Collective. So I've had a look online at these pictures and they're just unbelievable. The quality of the artwork's beautiful. And so at 7 till 9 this Friday on Smithdown Road, there's an open evening and it's to launch a showcase of talent. There's a musician, there's an exhibition there, works with people with a diagnosis of autism, and it's part of their weekly art hub, which they've been doing since September. And the exhibition's on for 2 weeks, so that's brilliant. Stuff going on, and I'm going to show all different things they're doing with people in the city because there's not a lot of provision for adults with autism, etc., and Asperger's. So we'll be sharing that as time goes on. But that's this Friday. So well done. She's retired. She was a Senko. I know her, and a lecturer in special educational needs. And now she's retired. Her and her husband are just giving back massively. Yeah. So well done to her.
Any shout out you want to give a shout out to, Jen?
Do you know what? I'm going to give a shout out to my daughter, my eldest daughter. So I'm really, really proud of her because, as I said, she was not great with confidence, and she moved to Ireland and she's come out leaps and bounds. She went to Venice on her own in October. Just went off on her own, and she rang me the other day and said that she's got a job in Greece in a hotel. She's going off on her own for 6 months, not with anybody, just doing it. So I'm really, really proud of her.
Fantastic. Well done.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well done. So if you're following her mum's footsteps, she's looking at you and saying, I can do that as well.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to travel, and I've got a big fear of travel on my own. So she's been my inspiration. So, yeah.
Brilliant. Amazing. We always close the show with a positive quote, a mantra that you live by. I'm sure you've got a boss one, Jen.
Trying to think.
What do you say to yourself, or what do you say to others that you do?
Basis to keep going, or something you say to
yeah, it's probably something like, whatever you do, never give up. Just keep going. Everything's temporary, you know.
Yeah.
Nothing lasts forever. Those kind of quotes. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Well, we're going to say a massive thank you to Jen. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for being so honest and open and sharing your story. And we will see everybody next week.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.